The last episode was my favorite episode. It raised my score for the season by a full point. Gyutaro is my favorite villain for the entire series. We're talking about Demon Slayer Season 2, by the way.
Motherfucker, we just got done arguing about the fucking episode 5 shit of Season 1 with the demon hand guy, and especially Nezuko and the emotional manipulation there. And now you want to drop that hot take on us? What is wrong with you? What were you thinking?
You know what? Nothing's worse than your AVGN impression.
But like, what was it? First off, I wanted to get into the whole episode 5 thing, because y'all were mostly talking about that shit off camera anyway.
Episode 5 of Season 1? I said my thoughts. I thought it was good. I think CBF's full of shit. And I think he likes spamming the word manipulation way too much.
That is literally what this show has done more than most battle shonen. It feels so fake and ingenuine and forced. Like, it really wants to force you. Just like, it wants to force that on you so aggressively hard, and by doing often in ways that feel very cheap and unearned, while having no semblance of restraint.
Okay, but like, as that relates to Season 2 and Gyutaro and Daki, I think that is fairly earned. Could it have been better? Yes, it could. But I think it built up to it quite nicely. I got the feeling when Gyutaro was beating on Tanjiro that he was doing it in such a way that related to his background, in a sense. Yeah, because he was seemingly bullying Deku because he is an older brother.
Deku.
What? Oh my
Tanjiro!
God.
You fucking rude!
Nezuko!
What is going on?
Wrong sibling!
Yeah. He was beating... Deku doesn't have siblings. Anyway, Gyutaro was beating on Tanjiro because he is an older brother who in that context failed to protect his little sister, while Gyutaro succeeded in protecting his little sister from Tanjiro. We've got a parallel.
And ironically, if he hadn't done that and instead just finished him off, then he would have actually succeeded, but instead that was his undoing. Because, well...
Yeah, it was so contrived.
Yeah, but still, this, I grant you, like, that one is not an example of, like, the show being emotionally manipulative. I do think the flashback shit was a little excessively handled, though not quite as much as, like, Shinobu's assistant from Season 1.
Wait. Sorry, but to finish my thought, you know, he has this early on, and ham-fisted as it is, he has the dialogue, he's like, you're so talented, it must be so nice to this, it must be so nice to that. His dialogue definitely builds up at the idea that he views many of his actions as counterbalancing something about life, or that him feeling entitled to do what he does to other people, as a form... I found the word I wanted, as a form of compensation, as a form of compensatory behavior. Yeah, so there's that. And finally, and I think my favorite bit was, I really like the bit where Zenitsu is like, apologize to the girl. By the way, silly for him to be saying that even in his sleep.
Especially in his sleep. Should have been better when he was awake. Would have been good this time, but...
Anyway, my point is, it does prompt Daki to say, I can do whatever I want, the beautiful, the strong, blah blah in this world. They have the power, etc, etc. And then you've got this one bit where it, like, overlaps Daki and Gyutaro, like, talking over each other about collecting the debts that life owes them, and this is so much better, like, built up than most of the deals of the other antagonists in the show, that by the time we get to that final episode, I feel that Gyutaro, Daki, but especially Gyutaro, did, like, mostly earn having that flashback, because it didn't, like, come completely out of nowhere. Their mannerisms, their attitudes, their dialogue, the way they think, all of them, like, built around that idea.
Yeah, the entire season is structured around that arc, which means there is just structurally speaking and thematically speaking, there's way more time spent on building them, not only building them up as antagonists, but building them up as people. And a lot of their proclivities, even though they can be kind of overplayed a little bit, and not like... Gyutaro mostly, yes.
Gyutaro. Daki's a bit...
She's a little flat, character-wise, not in the other way, obviously.
Especially not other ways. It's Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer Season 2 especially. Lonecrit, you talked about this.
Dude, the show got so... Dude, we thought...
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude, we have like four new women for the show. We have 4 new women in this season, and they all look the fucking same. They're nearly the same height, thick thighs, like at least a double D boobs, and not much bigger except for like the one woman, like similar silhouettes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so I think this proves that even women read fairy tale.
What it proves is that the mangaka is like bad with female characters.
Oh, see, that's not even the worst part in terms of that regard, because this was the season with Nezuko being her worst in terms of being just a Swiss Army knife plot device.
By the way, I find it both hilarious and sad that Gyutaro had like nearly half the not screen time, but just like the show runtime that Daki did, and yet he has like double the character.
Especially because it comes right the fuck out of nowhere. Just like, Daki gets her ass beat, or she's like, they're beating my ass. And he just like pops in, is like, heard y'all were beating my little sister up. I'ma kick your ass now. I'm the main antagonist. I'm the real Sixth Upper Moon.
You know what's funny? They said that Daki killed like 7 Hashiras, and I'm like...
Bullshit.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Yeah, that is bullshit.
Bullshit. She looks like she couldn't kill even 1 Hashira. Not even a weak Hashira.
Rengoku would solo her.
Rengoku would have melted her!
Yeah, Rengoku would solo her. He lost to Akaza, who was rank 3. And even then, that was only barely. They were beating the shit out of each other. Daki, even though she has, like, more destructive powers, it's like, no. Then again, same for Gyutaro. Gyutaro has less potent destructive power, but he has the poison. That and Daki just got weaker eventually during that fight anyway.
Can I just say, it's so whack, especially after this season, that like, oh, demons in Japan are an urban legend. Meanwhile, this freaking red light district, or an entire town, got completely fucking decimated overnight. Like, bro.
That's another issue I've had since season 1.
Hey, that's different. Hold up, that's different. That is an unprecedented, quite possibly, level of destruction.
Unprecedented, quote unquote. Only a few buildings got wrecked during the fight, and there were no casualties compared to other arcs.
Oh yeah, that's insane. I will say, okay, so one thing. Yes, like, come to think of it, wait, it's unprecedented to kill a waxing moon, at least for, like, on the wiki it says that Daki and Gyutaro are about 130 years old, so we can assume that it's been, like, what, maybe, like, 120 years since a waxing moon has either been killed or displaced.
Based on how the anime phrase it, they have never been killed before, ever.
Yeah, in the anime at the very end of the arc, the leader of the Demon Slayers, that guy, he was all like, "Oh, we haven't killed a waxing moon since 100 years."
I thought he said like literally ever. Especially because the way his dialogue implies he has such a long history with Muzan that he's been there since the beginning in some way. Or at the very least, his lineage has been there since the beginning.
It's his lineage, not him. Also, he said either in centuries or over a century. Here's my thing though, okay, I come to think of it, this can't be an unprecedented level of destruction in a sense. Because, yes, it's like unprecedented or not precedented for a very long time for a waxing moon to be killed, but Daki and Gyutaro collectively have killed like 20 Hashiras. So, did they just get snipe kills?
Like, how strong were those Hashiras?
They can't have gotten snipe kills because every time they try to get a snipe kill in this arc, Inosuke and fucking Uzui miraculously survive their poison injuries.
Yeah.
Because fuck you!
Oh yeah, like it's really funny. The demons go on and on about the immortality and durability of the demons, and I'm like, hey guys, are you sure you guys are the durable ones?
Yeah, seriously, all you need to do is just learn how to breathe really good.
Inosuke like, oh yeah, like, I shifted around my organs, and like, living in the mountains made me immune to poison. I'm like, how the, what?
Like, fuck off. And then Uzui, I forget exactly what he did. I think he had to, like, injure himself to stop the poison. Oh. Oh yeah, he stopped his heart!
No, he artificially, like, stopped his heart from beating. No. Maybe with him I can accept it, because he's a Hashira and he's the sound Hashira. It's like, I'm more receptive to accepting that he can do some weird bullshit. What's Inosuke's excuse?
Both of them are just like, bro. That's the weird thing with Demon Slayer. Whenever I have, like, a massive issue with it doing some absolute bullshit, half the time it's not an isolated incident, it is one, and then very quickly followed up by another. Like, episode 5, the shit with the demon head, and then with Nezuko, just to be an extra double whammy of forcing you to feel things through very contrived means. This one, it's like, alright, we got a Aspel plot armor, and the fairy tale character surviving moments, and then we get another one very quickly after.
Dude, all of this could have been solved. All of this could have been solved if they just fully had committed to giving the heroes an actual magic system. That would have solved all of their fucking problems.
Oh yeah, by the way, we didn't even mention this in the last podcast, but it's insane how the idea of, like, breathing all the like, doing the breathing technique all the time didn't come up until just now, like, with Mugen Train or the end of Season 1. Like, how in the hell does that make any sense? Like, you're telling me that Tanjiro was trained to do shit, like, for 2 whole goddamn years, and then his master didn't be like, oh, by the way, probably a good idea to learn this thing that later took you, like, a month to learn.
Yeah, like, hey, I taught you all of the water breathing techniques, but I didn't teach you how to breathe better, you know. It's like, wouldn't that be important?
And then Rengoku and Shinobu are like, this is a basic thing. If it's so goddamn basic, why didn't you know it already?
Especially because the teacher was confirmed to be a former Hashira later in the season anyway.
Yeah, this really does seem like one of those things that you learn first. Like, before even learning the sword styles, just do that one thing first.
But no, I guess neither he nor even most of his contemporaries, like most of the people he's been partying with, know this shit either. It's only ever come up like once towards in the first season where he got screwed over a little because of this, but still.
If he had taught, like, his dead apprentices that, they probably would have survived.
Oh yeah, this guy's a fuck-up.
Oh yeah, dude, it's so ridiculous. It feels like the mangaka just makes things up as they go. Oh, by the way, guys, I was looking on the wiki. So, you know how, like, Daki in the backstory, the things went to shit because she stabbed a samurai in the eye with her hairpin. So, in the anime, I was led to believe that she did that because he tried to, like, buy her, and being influenced by Gyuto's aggressiveness, she did that to him in, like, refusal of being bought as a commodity, even though he seemed like an okay guy, at least up until that point, and he may have led her to a better life, and maybe with a hint of not wanting to be separated from Gyutaro. But I read on the wiki that the actual reason was because he insulted Gyutaro. Would have been nice to know!
Yeah, I don't know why they removed that. It's not like it would add that much, like, screen time or anything, I don't think.
If anything, it feels better off removed, I think. Yeah, I think the other stuff is already strong enough, if not stronger, than just, she insulted my brother, bam!
By the way, CBF, I want you to say that Gyuto's a good villain. Not a great villain, but a good one. I want you to give Season 2 that.
I'm not going to go that far for Season 2. I will say he is probably one of the best antagonists in Demon Slayer, though the bar is not exactly high. It's like, what, we got him and Rui, who are at least competent, even though the way things are done makes it harder to care.
I feel like Gyuto's better than Rui.
I guess, but either way, they're probably the 2 best.
Also, this is like a high-tier compliment. When Gyutaro was looking after Daki in the final episode in the backstory, especially with the snow, it reminded me of Nier Replicant.
Freaking I knew it. I knew that was coming. Alright.
Specifically, it reminds me of the intro, how hard the Shadow Lord is trying to look after the original Yona, and then the ending of Ending B when the Shadow Lord and Yona reunite in heaven. And he apologizes, if I remember correctly, for his failures. And she, like, insists that, you know, after all of these things that they went to, like, she loves him, and that's what matters, if I remember correctly. I really, really like, though, that Demon Slayer Season 2 gave Gyutaro and Daki that dignity.
Yeah, also, that's another spoiler we gotta add to the card.
Yeah, I nearly cried when they were having that conversation when he was about to walk into the fires of hell.
I feel like that was a little bit overplayed. I feel like that could have been removed. I don't know.
Oh, it's Demon Slayer. Everything's overplayed. Most of the things are overplayed.
That, for me, that was the one time it fully worked for me, because to begin with, like, they kind of brought it up when they were, like, heads talking at each other, and they kind of let them have unfinished business. And that, to be fair, the scene where their heads could have been embellished and had them talk a bit more, but I know, I really like the idea of them, like, reuniting in the afterlife and processing, like, what happened to them and what happened next. And I really like the idea of how they both choose how they're going to engage with the cycle of reincarnation, where Daki can go on one end and Gyutaro can go in another and, like, suffer for his sins more than her, and they choose to remain together. I thought that was really sweet.
If anything, I'm almost surprised we don't see that more often, because the last time we saw anything like that was the Hand Demon in episode 5. Every other time, even when we get a flashback or anything of the sort, that's just it, and we don't see that reincarnation aspect at all.
I don't know. Reincarnation, maybe not, but I do remember there's a scene where, like, in the end of Season 1, Rui reunites with the spirits of his parents. If that's how you interpret that.
Must have forgotten about that one. And then also, I will also say, the bit where they're, like, bickering and Gyutaro's about to, like, say something he can't take back, and then Challenger's like, nope. He's like, no, shut the fuck up. Don't ruin it. You guys are already fucking dying. Just don't let your last memory as siblings be you two hating each other.
I think that was a good moment for Tanjiro, because this is the kind of stuff that I think really solidifies why I think he has the potential to be a good main character. It's shit like that.
I think he is a good main character.
I think he's a competent main character. I'm good as I mean, he's fine. I think if he were a bit more entertaining, and if he had a better supporting cast to bounce off of, I would actively call him good. But as it stands, well, I can at least call him probably one of the 5 best characters in Demon Slayer, for whatever that's worth. There are only 5 I remotely like.
No, it's Gyutaro, Rengoku, Tanjiro, Gyu, and Shinobu. Not in that order.
I would say the same thing.
Shinobu was, like, so much better than I was expecting.
Like, when she, like, fully came in that to introduce her powers and whatnot against, like, the sister demon, that was a legitimately wild introduction for her.
Yeah, that was a great introduction for her. I like her a lot. But you know me, I'm the resident nitpicker of the group. So I have to bring up that why, and let me ask you guys a question. Why doesn't every Demon Slayer just start lacing their katanas with poison?
I was going shopping earlier today. I was in, like, a store and I was like, yeah, why doesn't everybody use tools with wisteria on them?
Yes! Yes! Why don't they all fucking do that? Why?
I don't fucking know.
Uzui's, you don't understand, Kaiser. Uzui's people are ninjas.
Oh yeah, true. They're supposed to be ninjas and they don't have any kind of actual poison weapons on them. He has a method of poison resistance, that's bullshit. But still, he just has these 2 blades he can spin around and do, like, sound hashira things, but not even like a poison kunai?
Oh, by the way, Gyutaro's fighting style is rad as hell. I like it. I'm like, oh. It's really, he and Daki really nicely complement each other. I do like that angle. By the way, dude, did anybody notice how, like, Daki just gets more and more nerfed as the series goes on?
That was what I was talking about earlier!
Yeah, like, Tanjiro just fights her off with a chipped katana, goddamn how, yes. And then we go from that to, like, Zenitsu cutting
and then
the
also
shit
we
up.
get that embarrassing moment with Nezuko. Less so the giant less so her power-up, which has her just go on a full fairy tale body mode, but more so just the fact that it didn't come quite out of nowhere. There is a precedent, but it does feel like, And then also how she gets reverted back and then just starts bawling, and then it's like, alright, she's done with the show for now until just BSing a power with the flames to heal basically everybody at the tail end. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah, by the way, remember that one time when Tanjiro just completely exhausted himself using the sun breathing, and then he just got up and could fight again pretty well because the plot said so?
Yeah. And then you also mentioned the mark really coming in. Like, I know it was foreshadowed at the start with episode 1 of season 2, with like the Rengoku's dad being like, yeah, you like all these fucking sun breathers with like all your marks, and she's like, I don't have a mark. And then that comes into play and gives him more of a boost.
Yeah, but to be fair, the mark was supposed to be an indicator of sun breathing, not an indicator of superior strength.
But I guess not. I guess it's
I guess not. Like, and I read ahead in the Wikipedia for what it actually is, and it's fucking bullshit.
Me too. I know what it is, kinda as well. I also know who the #1 waxing moon is and what his deal is, and it's awesome, but I can't say it because CBF.
Oh yeah, I think I read up on that guy too.
Okay, Kaiser, can we just agree the #1 waxing moon on paper is awesome?
Yes.
In any case, but also, the fight, I think another thing is that the fight goes on for so fucking long. Like, it is 6 episodes. It is 5.5 episodes, which sure isn't the worst in a lot of other battle shonen, but like in Fairy Tail and whatnot, but this is Demon Slayer. This is a speedrunner shonen right here. This is longer than most arcs have been up until this point. And this is half the arc.
Gotta love how they pull a Sekiro final boss, Daki gets downed, and then your real final boss just literally comes out of her. Like Ishin with Genichiro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, that's such bullshit. It's like, and that's how we get another, like, 3 episodes of this already drawn-out fight. I was so exhausted. I was begging for mercy by the end of episode 10. Like, please, let it end.
Like, say what you want about Jujutsu Kaisen, like, the Shibuya arc in Season 2, but at least in Jujutsu Kaisen, the fights know when to freaking end. Like, most of the fights in each of the episodes are, like, 2 or 3 episodes long, if that. So...
By the way, if we make a hierarchy of all the bullshit ass pulls that come out of nowhere in the entire show, Gyutaro coming out of Daki is second only to, oh yeah bro, I just, like, cut my head off with my strings.
Yeah, like that from season 1. It's like, you talked such a talk about how if you exclude the problems, that moment with like the audio, with the beautiful animation and that nice ending song were so cool, and then Rui is like, that doesn't count. I detached myself and you didn't even cut the one string that kept me on. Fuck you.
Okay, here's what we do to make the show better, okay? We have to turn off the brain. We turn up the brain, and then we watch the show, and now it's better.
Relating to this, the only possible kind of foreshadowing to Gyutaro's existence was that Daki seemed a bit weak for a waxing moon.
I wish there was something else, especially like during the scene when Zenitsu was trying to investigate.
Oh, you mean like her having, say for example, I don't know, an offhand line of dialogue that gives the impression she is familiar from experience with the idea of having family, or something like that.
You see, that's the thing about that's the beautiful thing about Demon Slayer. It's about family.
Yeah, because we gotta say that Demon Slayer secretly anime Fast and Furious?
Oh my god. Yes.
No, but it's anime Kathleen Kennedy Star Wars.
Oh my god.
Demon Slayer, it really feels like the manga just makes it up as they go. It feels like a first draft that never got edited.
Yeah.
Like, just add foreshadowing here, and here.
Foreshadowing here, and here, and then some of it is the most tenuous shit ever, and then some things are just actual full-on ass pulls. And then the funny thing is, because you were mentioning build-up, and how the second half was so long, when it came to the actual, like, sort of cat and mouse build-up of just, like, alright, not just us, like, the Demon Slayers getting to the Red Light District arc, but actually getting to the point where they're infiltrating it, just like Uzui's wives are, it's pretty much over right then and there. Yeah, it's over pretty much right when it starts, when we could have actually spent more time on not just them infiltrating, but especially the wives infiltrating, that going south, and then it's like, alright, now the Demon Slayer's gotta come in. Demon Slayer could actually be a little bit cooler if we spent more time on, like, the Hashiras, or people relating to the Hashiras, doing their Demon Slayer thing, around the time when the main characters are either healing or doing their training.
Make it like 13 or 14 episodes. Like, the setting is non-existent. They mention the prostitutes just for like 2 seconds in the beginning, and well, that's the you know, of this entire class of people in this setting, that's as much exploration as we're getting. Wait, we have like multiple characters. We have the 3 houses and the owners and the Oirans and different people just dropped onto us, and that goes nowhere. That's over in like 2 seconds. Like, oh, she was about to disappear and now she's kidnapped. Feel bad now.
And in nowhere. That goes nowhere. That means absolutely nothing. Like, I'm not asking for the show to pull a freaking Chimera Ant arc, right? I'm not asking for 20 episodes of this bullshit. What I am saying is, if you're going to have, you're going to establish, like, the first 5 episodes, maybe less, establishing that all of this shit is supposed to be freaking important for the characters to actually infiltrate this place, which is an interesting scenario they have never done before. Maybe actually have that fucking matter. I don't know.
Yeah, also, like, I thought we were gonna do, like, a full-on investigation cat-and-mouse game, or at the very least have, a Yoshikage Kira situation where we know who the villain is, but the characters don't, but then immediately, that woman, and the characters just immediately find that. I'm like, oh my fucking god, why would you waste one of the coolest premises in the series?
Yes!
And all of Uzui's wives have already escaped, and they're just fighting the robe thing that Daki can detach as well. It's like, well...
Well, no, they didn't escape. They didn't escape. Zenitsu and Tanjiro freed them.
No, they were fighting it. They were already fighting it. One of them was, like, being tortured, but 2 others were already fighting it.
No, by the time we got to them, they were already captured and encased in the robe. It's Tanjiro and Zenitsu that freed them.
It wasn't even Tanjiro. It was Inosuke who was there, like, fighting the thing.
Okay, kind of Zenitsu and Inosuke, you know what I mean, like the DLC assist characters.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just like, by that point, it's like, alright, we just very quickly get to that, and then those fighting, and then now, alright, these other 2 are now, the wives are now here, they're already freed, and it goes by so fast, and then the entire rest of the arc goes by so fucking slow, and it's like, and they do nothing, and again, they do nothing with the setting, at least with Rui, the Rui setting. As much as I hate a lot of it, at least with the forest, it made a good position for all these spider traps and for people to use the obfuscation of the forest to their advantage or disadvantage, or the trees, like, to swing them around to their advantage or disadvantage.
I just realized something really sad. I think the arc actually portrays, like, the idea of sibling love between Gyutaro and Daki better than the series overall between Tanjiro and Nezuko.
That is really sad.
Very sad.
CBF, do you agree with that opinion?
Yeah, and that's miserable. It's at least because Daki's a character. Daki's a character. Not a character I care about, but she's actually a character. Nezuko barely registers as such, as I ranted on before.
Yeah, she's just a plot device.
Nezuko is as much of a character as the moment feels like she is.
Eri from My Hero is more of a character than Nezuko.
Shut the fuck up.
You
Shut
know
the fuck
I'm
up.
right.
Shut the fuck
you
up.
You know for a fact I'm right.
I know you're right, but we do not mention that name in this ramen stand.
Oh, man. Like, I remember you mentioned between all the stuff, Season 2 especially feels like, and also Season 3 feels like, you throw one feminist critique on it and it crumbles.
Yes. Like, really, we have like 6 waxing moons. One of them is a woman, and the instant things get too tough, she immediately just pussies out, starts crying, and like calls her big bro in to come and like do it for her. I'm like, really?
And then the man comes out.
And the only other moon was one of the lower moons who instantly got murked in the instant she questioned Muzan for anything. That was also funny. Muzan just like, Alright, so one of you has been kicked out before, another of you has been killed. Why the fuck do I have you, idiots? I'm just gonna kill all of you right fucking now. Except for Enmu, who sucked his dick off so much, he's like, ew, you wanna die to me that badly? No, get my blood and get out of here. Do what you want. Fuck off.
Also, firstly, I find it really stupid how Muzan is, like, communicating with Daki to kill Tanjiro and Co. if, like, Gyutaro is the real.
I thought they count as both the waxing moon thing. I thought that's how that worked.
It's mainly Gyutaro. It's mainly Gyutaro. Still, he didn't even talk to Gyutaro. Like, that would have been a great moment to hint about his existence. It feels less like the show is misleading us with purpose, and it feels more like the show is lying to us. That's the first thing. Secondly, if Muzan wants Tanjiro and Co. dead that badly, hey, you know, it'd be a great idea. Hey, Daki, Gyutaro, here, have more of my blood. Whoops.
Or be like, hey, Daki, Gyutaro, Daki, let Gyutaro out now. Both of you fight these guys immediately. I know they're there right now. Another thing, Season 1 already establishes that fact that Demon Slayers out in the open is like, no. They're not, like, officially sanctioned or anything, even though demons are this much of a rampant problem. It's like, why aren't these guys, like, an official thing governments recognize and be like, alright, do something. And be like, and people on the streets can be like, oh, it's them! They can do something about this, instead of, what the fuck, why are people carrying weapons out in the open? Oh, no.
Well, boys, I think now's a good time to start wrapping up.
Hold on there! Stop right there, white man! I have another point.
That's normally what the white men say!
Y'all are not clever.
But hey, now that us minorities have stopped the white man from treading on us...
Absolutely.
Demon Slayer Episode 1, let's finally unscrew that can of worms. Like, open it up real quick.
Just like how this show unscrewed you.
No, it screwed me. It very much screwed me.
Then why are you so mad about it?
Did at least use rubber?
But anyway, so, Episode 1. Well, for one thing I really did not like about it was, the amount of time and the way they went about, you know, remember Rengoku? Remember how they gave him that cool final fight? That cool death?
The boy. Rest in peace.
The man, the boy, the myth, the legend, the second best character in the show.
The send-off that was honestly, like, maybe a little too much when it came to the Hashiras. It's like, alright, how about we just spend the entire time just glazing him up so much for this family conflict between, Tanjiro and the dad, to the point where at some point they literally just start headbutting each other.
Oh yeah, didn't he just like smack the shit out of Tanjiro or something?
Yeah.
I failed to see the issue.
And it's like, at a certain point there, it just became too much. It became so much harder to actually take the show's attempts at drama and grief seriously for this display. And went on for a decent amount of time too.
Look, if I remember correctly, Tanjiro got knocked out. Now, personally, I call that a W, because at least somebody got his ass.
True.
I mean, still.
Think about it, if he were a villain, he would have won.
Yeah, but like, fact of the matter is, like, I understand what you're going at, CBF. It felt pretty drawn out. I would feel kind of weirded out if we didn't have anything like this at all. Because given how much attachment Tanjiro has with Rengoku and vice versa, yeah, it would be pretty weird for him not to pay his respect to his fam at all, and for this to not be brought up.
Of course.
But I feel like it was kind of dragged out.
It's less that it was dragged out to me, more so that the way they went about it is the Demon Slayer approach of just no chill whatsoever. That was, to the point where it feels almost a little disrespectful towards the character, in a way. But anyway, so that was part of why the episode 1 just gave me such a bad first impression. The rest of it, well, we already did mention the training, but the fact that, hey, we show the training montage, except for the one part that's actually kind of important to show. The sword training, the techniques and shit. No, it's just, exercise, bodybuilding. When we're several episodes down the line, we're gonna see everyone busting out all their new techniques. maybe show them doing that instead of running.
Okay, well, several things. Number one, I disagree with you. I like the stuff with the Rengoku's dead, but at the same time, I suddenly feel like several months have passed since I watched the season, and because I don't really remember much of anything, so I don't feel like arguing with you about this. Secondly, I think the real takeaway here is that you should watch good shonen, like Gash Bell.
Correct.
Of which Kaiser is currently around episode 85, the very tail end of the Ancient Demons arc. Just saying, CBF.
And it's really, really, really good.
Or I could just read Naruto too.
Yeah, Naruto, the thing that kept Gash Bell from gaining its true prominence in the shonen sphere.
I'm just gonna put it down that Gash Bell is better than Naruto.
Whoa. That is not a high bar. Sorry. Anyways.
I mean, well, to be fair, Naruto is still better than every Yu-Gi-Oh show.
Next time on the Newtypes Podcast!
No, wait, hold on, wait, I need to talk about Tengen. I did not like Tengen's introduction. Yeah, no,